Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, today we are here to discuss a topic which was brought forward by Mr. Tawen Christian.
Marking topic one.
Oh, the topic which Tawen brought forward.
Why black are inferiors?
No, it's an extension of that because we realize not only black people are inferior, but almost
and what spectrum something.
No, that was just a okay. No, the thing is, today's topic is Owen brought forward the topic about black people being inferior, and we thought that not only black people are inferior because in certain countries, the minority, the people in that country, mostly the minorities, are the ones which are inferior. Again, yeah. So it's not only a problem experienced by an individual race, even though the problems might be they might be different and some might be more severe, such as black people right now, especially in the United States. You saw what happens, the police brutality thing, and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So the topic today is that, and it will not only be talking about that brutality thing, it will be talking about economic things as well, educational things. I want social things experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we start our discussion. This is not what.
This is men's conference. Where are the ladies? I don't see ladies.
Ladies they are busy with things today. Everyone is saying they are busy, but people said they were going to join. Unless if they are still watching this, it's Friday. There's entertaining things on television.
Maybe they character.
So today we are starting with our topic, and our first person to be asked to come to stage, it's Puti, Mr. Puti.
Yeah, sure, like to come and introduce myself.
No, yeah, we might be. Should we do the introductions? Because did we do the? But I think to keep it shortly, you can introduce yourself, but in a brief manner, if I.
Okay,
so Puti,
sure.
you can talk about what you are known for. Give me the gun.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Puti speaking here. And me, I'm a karate guy, and I'm a programmer. Yes, sir.
Okay, someone's phone is on. Can you, King? Is that silent because it's audible? And I'm not sure if it will be.
I think it's Tawen.
Tawen. Yeah, but it's cool. Tawen really okay. It's cool. Now, Puti. Now we are going to Brutus. Brutus, what are you known for?
Hi guys, I'm Brutus. Brutus Shakespeare. You can call me Shakespeare.
You're known for poetry.
I'm a student, second year student, and also love programming. So you can call me a programmer too.
Hey.
Programmer junior.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. Okay. Now we are moving to Tawen Christian. Tawen Christian, what are you known for?
I'm just known for mentorship. Yeah, that's me.
Tawen is known for mentorship. And now we are going to whom? Marema. How are you, Marema?
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
My name is Marema.
Yes.
I am 15 years old.
Ow.
And when I grow up, I want to be a businessman.
Hi, man.
And then,
hey, let's get serious. Marema, who are you and what are you known for, man?
Yeah,
no, tell the truth, bro.
Yeah, I can know Marema. Blessing. Sure.
What do you do?
What do? I do nothing.
Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now everyone has introduced themselves again. Hello.
Yeah, I gotta come for
Yes. Everyone has introduced themselves, and now, by the way, my name is Polo Shoselo. And I'm just an active individual. I don't have a specific thing which I could say I'm known for. Yeah, so I do a lot of things. Yeah, so today, the topic for today is racial issues experienced by almost every race. If there's anything which is experienced by a certain race, the intention of today's episode is to focus on it, whether it's a thing experienced by white people or a thing experienced by blacks or I don't know, Asian, anything, if I could say. So we'll be starting with our first person to discuss what they think about the topic will be Tawen. Tawen, what do you think about today's topic? Do you think it's actually valid, what we're discussing, or it's just something, a pigment been painted, or what?
Well, I think it's valid because as the whole world, we are facing racial racism or racial imbalance, in our lives, and somehow one way or the other, it's affecting us as we grow or into the next generations. Speaking of, maybe when we grow up, our little ones will be facing racism from other races. Because it's more like it's a generational thing, and one thing for sure, it didn't start in 2020. It's something that started a while ago. So I think it's important to discuss it and maybe in a way find a solution on how to avoid it or how well can we adjust to it. Thank you.
So I want to ask something. Do you think the solution lies in the people's hands, or it lies in governments, putting laws to actually solve the problem, or is it just about people posting?
It lies.
Emma, wait.
I think. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I was asking whether the solution is it's in people's hands or it's in governments actually putting laws such that people should obey them and they are forced to live under them. So not
to answer that, I think it lies. It lies with the government, because this thing, like we grew up with it, it's being taught in schools, and so they teach you from a young age, and then you grow with that hatred towards a certain race, then you take it out there.
No, but the question is, since you say it lies with the government, but also you are talking about it coming from what you have been taught by what your parents or people around you. So it's actually what? Yeah. My question is it up to the government to alleviate this, or is it up to the people to actually notice that there's a problem within what we are currently doing?
As the people, I think we've came to realize, as people, I think we've also. I don't know if you guys know the likes of Tupac. They've been fighting the same battle ever since then.
That's the question, because
so the people are well aware of the problem.
No, I understand that the people who are experiencing it, they are well aware of the problem, but those who are not experiencing it, they are not aware that it is a problem, if I could say so. So the question, does it lie under the hands of people or the hands of government?
Let me answer. From my side, I would say it lies with us, the people, because at the end of the day, the government is the people, and the people are the government.
That's a good
so
answer.
If we were to say it's for the government, then imagine the government every little day, it's telling you that stop doing this, stop doing that, but because it's within us, then we can't change. So in a way, if I were to shorten the answer, change starts within us, the people, and then it will ultimately reach the government.
Because it's true. Because if you notice, the government is actually what the people voted for in a democratic country. So if the people vote for a government, let's say the people who are, for example, let's say in a country where the majority is a specific race and there are a minority of people, and it's such that when people vote, the vote is actually a reflection of the majority in a democratic country, if I could say. And when people vote, they vote for a specific party, and there are people with specific, let me say, specific beliefs or specific traits in such that maybe they might be racist or not. I don't know. Maybe they have such an outlook on other races. And when they vote, the government knows the people who voted for them. So the government would actually protect the people who voted for them in order to keep running as the government in charge. If I'm clear. So the government can't really solve the problem because it knows the people who are going to vote for them are the people who are the problem serves, or the problem is what is beneficial to them. Is it? If I'm making sense, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So you're right. The problem lies in the hands of the people. But the thing is, when we say people, because it's quite a different thing, because when we say people, it's almost like what the group of people who experience or who look at race, they're divided. There are people who are benefiting from it, and there are people who are suffering from it. In such a way that it becomes a battle. It's not a thing which can easily be solved with just like a discussion that, okay, this is what we have to do, and someone says yes and someone says yes, but I don't know the approach which has to be taken, because it feels...
Another approach I think that's best is to start this thing from a young age.
But how do you start it, since parents, they're the ones who raise their kids, and if the parents...
Oh, you're wrong. Teachers raise the kids.
No,
because teachers spend more time with the kids than parents do.
No, teachers do raise the kid in a certain way, but as you know that, and the teachers tend to blame parents for certain behavior, which is which the kid manifests. Let's say, for example, you start swearing in class, they would actually call your parents and say, "What are you teaching them at home?" I get.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. That teachers do raise the kid in certainly, but you're not entirely raised by a teacher. You're raised by your community and your parents as well. So since a person lives in a specific community, they are bound to have beliefs which the community have, which is also beliefs which the parent might or might not have. I get.
Yeah. So when I tell you, what do you think is the best solution to fixing all of this?
Okay, at the end of the day. No, don't laugh.
No, we are not laughing.
We're with you.
Yeah, as I was saying, if we could know the root of the problem, where does it come from, and how did it start? Okay, on a personal view, it started by small things, You at home, you're watching things, maybe like, for example, colonization or all this stuff.
But I feel like colonization, it was just part of the phase in human civilization, because there were we had back then, when war was just the usual thing. When you get what I'm saying, war was usual. War was not. What was common, if I could say? What was common? It happened often, if I could say. But now,
fine.
So it was just part of human civilization to what we have right now. So was it necessary? There might have been other paths which you could have took instead of that one we took of slavery, civil colonization, war, World War I. But this is the path we chose to be here, because without some of them, we wouldn't have. I wouldn't say it's right, because someone listening might say, "Hey, this guy thinks war was necessary." But I'm saying with war, the war brought what we currently have: peace, and our view on peace. Right now, our view on peace, or what we know peace as, is based on what happened, the war. Some of the technology we might also have, it's also derivated from war as well. And even our outlooks on nuclear weapons, it's also into something which we found from the world wars which took place. So I think the conflict might not be necessarily necessary, but was a bit essential to actually know what we have right now. If I'm If I'm clear.
Okay, fine. Let's say maybe there was no war at all. Don't you think, or would be having what you're having today? Because the reason why, not from my side, if I am from, let's say I am from a country called Zibidela, right? If I go into another country named Manchester, for example, and then I find myself doing slavery there and then torturing the people there, at the end of the day, when I'm not around those people, let's say maybe I've put them inside a certain cage. When I'm not around them, they'll develop that thing. Okay, people from there, they're treating us badly, and then they start outlooking us in me from Zibidela as I've captured their country in a certain way that no, these people are not treating us well, and these people are fighting against our own rights and so on. And then I feel like that's where racism starts, because they'll be like people from Zibidela that are doing 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they start looking at us in a certain way. And then at the end of the day, when we come back in the near future, 10 years later after the war, or even more, or more than a decade and so on, when we come back into the very same country called Manchester, they'll still look at us as in like, we are the reason why, the reason why we are like this is because of those people.
They'll look at you as a threat.
Anymore. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying is if you once threatened someone or did something bad to them, obviously whenever even if your intentions are good, the next time you arrive, the person will suspect that I should be cautious when around this person.
And at the end of the day, it builds a racism inside of you, because at the end of the day, your children, they start growing. Let's just make a practical example, something that we know all of us. Since you're in South Africa, we know that apartheid happened. So when you're looking at it, every single day, we've been studying it from the books, we've been studying it from the TV, the documentaries and everything. It always comes back to us and be like, okay, this thing happened, and it happened because of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you still have that rage inside, or no, man, that wasn't right. But then still, if you can act, it's more than 25 years since South Africa it's free or liberated. So at the end of the day, we should find a solution.
But what I understand, Goro, the thing you talk about, it's what the rage is. Let me say, is it because into the world, let's say someone who grew up in a community which is diverse, and we have white people, black people, Indians, and everyone is living in, is it ideal harmony? If I could, not ideal harmony, but there's peace there. People understand that the race is just.
Can I just say something?
Let me continue.
Personally, guys, I don't think like this whole racism thing now. For me, like it doesn't lie with black people.
No, it lies with race. It's a racism.
No, I disagree. Because
it's all about who's privileged, if I could say. Because if you're not privileged, you are under. You are, what could I say, man? Because it lies with everyone. It lies with everyone.
Think about it. No, Purucho. Think about this.
Puti wants to say something. Puti?
Let Brutus talk, my man.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, Purucho. For example, a perfect example. I'll take Bendo. Bendo was once full of white people only. But then black people came to live, they started upgrading, started, making money. Then they moved in the same community with white people. And then what do white people do? They move out. White people are very uncomfortable with us, and they show it like straight to our faces that, like now, like the old rents to Cape Town.
No, I understand the thing. Because mostly the current the overview we have of race is that it's manifested by white people, but it's a universal thing. It could come from anyone, if I could say. The reason right now we're saying white people are racist because most white people are not most, if I could say. Because let me just say,
you're right. There is.
It's not. I cannot say most because we are only having let's say the current the majority of people who are observed as racist are white people, if I could say that. That makes sense now.
Who are what?
who are observed as being racist, the known racist. But it's not only white people, because I remember a certain time there were people complaining about the Indian community and the Indian community being racist as well towards black people. So it's not only white people. It's not only white people.
Yeah, it's not only white people, but then like the biggest problem is it's like white people, you know.
No, but you see,
Not personally, I have experienced racism for maybe about 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What 3 years?
Yeah.
It was happening throughout the whole entire 3 years, or what?
Yes, throughout 3 years, if not 4, because I went to an African school.
What happened? Hey, you wanna know the story? Maybe I could. My views on this could be changed based on what you're telling me.
No, like a lot of things happened. You know, like our teachers would call us baboons.
Hey.
You don't know how.
Hey, that's bad. Were they calling were they calling the white people baboons, or were they calling only you baboons?
No, us black people. You know.
Was it because you were naughty, or because you were just a naughty black person?
Come on, you know how classes are, guys.
No, I understand, but my question is, because we're just trying to eliminate all the other things, which someone could say, he was naughty, he was doing this. If you could say there were also other naughty white people, but we're not distinctive.
Let me tell you something. In grade 10, the matrix of like at the time when I was in grade 10, the matrix would call us gaffer keys. So I experienced racism from both teachers and students.
Okay. And
you get me.
The people in your school, again, were there a lot of black students or a lot of white students?
It was a kind of 50-50 type of thing.
50-50. Which students were, which race, which students of
white? So it was white, strictly white versus black.
I know which students. Was there also almost like an intersection? The races couldn't talk politely, or it was just always division within the two group of students?
Those guys just wanted to beat us up for being black.
Oh.
Basically.
In which province was the school? In which province?
I went to school in Centurion.
That's bad. Hey, that's bad. Tawin, what do you think about this? Because
no, to be honest, it's unfair.
It's unfair.
It's unfair that and very unfortunate that it happened. Let me finish. But what I wanted to say, we cannot disclose the fact that racism it's from everyone. You know, everyone in the world. Any racial or ethnic group can be a racist. That one we should include it out as much as it can be observed, like you said, coming from white people only. You know, and then most community it brings that, and let's just look at us in South Africa. We recently had xenophobic attacks.
Exactly, it was between blacks and blacks.
And which on that part we can say it's racism also, because we're discriminating them and something. And maybe this can bring a question: Are we bringing this kind of what can I call this kind of actions towards people because of what they are doing? Let's say, for example, during the time that we had the xenophobic attacks, we're seeing that this type of culture or this type of group, they are selling drugs into our country and so on and so on. And then are we saying that because of their actions, then we should be racist against them? Because it feels like because of some certain action, then the way we approach it, at the end of the day, we find ourselves racist. I hope you get where my
The thing is true, because we do to exhibit those actions as well, which we are against. For instance, people were fighting against their African brothers, the Zimbabweans, which it's a neighboring country, by the way. It's not too far away from. It's too close to where I'm currently at. In Limpopo, Zimbabwe, it's almost like a province away. Yeah, so it was wrong, honestly, because not every Zimbabwean is doing something, but it's almost like what since especially right now, and it's what gender-based violence. Not every man is doing what is harming women. I get. But if we do what we did with the Zimbabweans and threaten all of them, harass all of them, and just go out and every man you see, I don't know who will do, the women, let's say the women go out and beat up every guy they see, shoot them. Well, is that right? That doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all, because I know a lot of people from other countries, African neighboring countries, and not even one of them is selling drugs or anything. So by the time someone starts beating them up because they're someone from their country is selling drugs, that's not even fair. It's almost like us going to another country and being told that now you are selling drugs because someone from your country sold drugs as well. It's what Tawan said about that thing of someone coming from a specific country, and even though the person is not doing that, but they are viewed as someone who is doing that again.
No, but fighting for our country, I don't think it's racism.
But you're not fighting. How are you fighting for your country if you're fighting for someone who's not doing anything wrong?
If you are coming to my country illegally, so with no letters, we have to remove you because you might do something wrong
but
in my country.
How are you removing them? People were torching people. It was not a lovely scene to look at.
Let them go back to their country and come back. They can't just come here.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's what every country wants to reinforce. People coming into their countries legally, going through the paperwork. But to resolve that thing, we don't have to harm anyone. We can safely, if it's possible, safely take them back to their countries and also write them off because they violated our laws.
They won't agree.
The worst part about it, and I understand, I would do the same if it was me back then. But then now I've come to realize that look at that scene right now. People who are living there, not all of them, they came here illegally. We are not even sure of that. So what I'm just saying is that it's better to make it as soft as possible or as easy as it is. We just go to them and then you ask simple things. Do you have a document to show that you're in here? And then obviously there might be the fake ones, right? And the fake ones, they can be noticed. How? You take them, you make a copy, and then we go and scan them wherever they're being scanned. Thing is, no matter how much we try to fight them, when we fight them, then now it's becoming something else. It becomes a xenophobic attack. And then we are viewed as a racist. Imagine, just think about it.
We cannot do think about it in foreign countries.
As a South African, let's just say there's a South African computer science student like you are, and then we get an opportunity to go to China or let me just say any specific country to do our extended courses and something, and then someone later from our own racial culture does something to a person in that country, and then they come to you, they be like, you are that person who did that thing, and then they forcefully remove you from the country. Whilst when you just came there to do your studies. So you're wondering now it's unfair. How about they be like, let's see if indeed when you came here for this reason and so on. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, we should understand that peace is what solves everything. If we're going to fight, it's not going to help. Fighting doesn't lead anywhere, and then it labels us as this certain thing that we don't want to be labeled. I'm sure even today, if you can go back to those people, their children, they'll be like, who survived and went back to their countries. They still have that pain in them that we went to South Africa just to find food, just to work. And then at the end of the day, South Africa did this to us. Now that feeling, it's just like us today. We're still carrying that feeling. Apartheid happened to us, and it's not our. We're not there even, but it's because of how it was managed. And I think you.
It also becomes hatred towards a specific nation, and it also if let's say South Africans were all white, it will become hatred toward a specific race.
You know, this one of asking documents, it will do by government. We as community, we won't ask for documents. We will just remove you because we don't know original
how do you remove them? Because you don't.
No,
we just protest.
We just watch you and see when you are in Zimbabwe, go back.
How do you remove them, Marema? My question is, how do you remove
just protest? Them? You know how South Africans.
Yeah, we just protest them. Yeah.
But if you're just saying protesting, but it's not bad protesting. But what happened during the protest is people were violent. It was violent protests, and it harmed people from other nationalities as well.
It's because government don't do good work.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The solution lies with the government.
No, but we're not understanding this because the government is doing. The government is not Superman. The government is trying. I could say it might be trying, but people are not patient most of the time. People are not patient.
For 25 years, it's been trying. 25.
It's not 25. How many years? It's not 25.
10 years. I don't know.
Can I get in? Let me get in. Okay. Now we're saying what the government is the one that has to do the work, the Superman work, which is impossible. I mean, think about it. Now, Mr. Marem saying that I will just look at you and be like, "Yeah, Zimbabwe," and go back. So how does the government solve that? Well, where else it's you on your own saying that I just made you.
Okay. To answer you, Agar. To answer you, there's a certain neighborhood in PTA. Where prostitution and drugs are all happening now. So the government can start by fixing their cops. So those people who take JoJo's.
No, but it's actually a complex.
Then those cops will stop taking JoJo's from those Zimbabweans that provide fake IDs and stuff like that, and then they'll start doing their job.
Okay,
that's how the government is happy.
Yeah, maybe that's the other part. But I got right now, our focus is on us being racist and we're trying to stop or finding a way to solve it. Because now, if you can take it a step further, that you know who is doing what, and the police are not doing anything. Now that's out of racism. It's something else. I don't know what to call it.
And Tawini, there's also South Africans doing those things. It's human nature basically to do something which I don't know. It's human nature because everyone, not only it's not a thing. It's not an invention which people from other nationalities came with. That selling drugs, this is a new invention. Only we do this. No, South Africans do that, and it's a global thing, global problem. So, but if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I don't know about the others.
Because people tend to blame only people from those countries. Because if you can also look at it, people from other nationalities from maybe South America, there are drugs from there can that's where drugs into the drug industry, if I could say, or drug is highly profitable. Like it comes from Pablo Escobar, if I'm saying the name correctly. He's known for being for being a drug lord. Is it drug lord? He's known for doing that. So by the time we focus only on our African brothers and say these ones are the ones who are responsible for that, and not looking at the people who are from our countries who are also doing that. It's not only those people from those countries who are doing that.
Yeah, let's deal with those other people first. Then we'll come to our country. Then we'll fix it.
No, how do you fix it? The thing is, you're fixing is very violent. We are exactly. The moment we are sure about ourselves, we're sure that right now we don't have any phones in our hands or phones in our eyes. we can.
Yes, we must start fixing ourselves.
Yes, I'm sure the person who's selling drugs in South Africa and he's from South Africa and is well aware that those people from other nationalities are selling drugs in his country of birth. He's thinking these guys are taking business from me, so I should fight against them. It's almost like we're helping them in a certain way. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're helping them fight territories.
We're helping them gain more profit. Imagine if you get what I'm saying. Hey.
Yeah, I understand.
So if we just look at the problem in an objective manner and not say this person is from this, so he's doing this, and just look at it at that in such a way that if someone is doing this, we should actually try to solve that. We should actually get the government to do something against that. That would be a fine solution, if I would say. Because mostly our view of this is subjective. We need an objective view.
And it shouldn't be objective. It should be at a global level.
No. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be like right now. Let's say your brother is selling drugs and your neighbor is also selling drugs. And instead of telling the cops on your brother, you're telling them on your neighbor because you love your brother. You're like, this is my brother. If you get what I'm saying.
No, I get.
Hey, so people will tell against, they might tell against the South African, but it's more likely that people will be against the one who's from a different nationality.
Yeah, and it's true.
So it should be objective. We should not look at who's from where. We should just look at who's doing wrong and tell the cops if we are, and not to touch them, because that's not justice. Democracy is based on having a juristic which handles all of those. So no one should touch someone because no one is in charge of who loses their life and who does not lose their life.
Yeah, we are not the judges of one's life.
So, but if you look at all the protests, I'm sure Marema is talking about people protesting, but not everyone, while they protest, other people have a mentality which what is violent. People might say we are protesting in a peaceful manner, we won't do anything bad, but someone within those numbers, it might be 10 out of 100, but those people there, those elements there, they might cause things which the protest was not mainly intended to do. Hey, so I understand Marema saying that. I just don't understand his approach to solving the problem. I just don't understand what is.
He wants to look at people and let them go.
Hey, you want to look at people just because they are from this country and not actually looking at people just because they are doing this certain thing. He's doing stats, Marema. Since he's doing stats, I would have thought he was going to pick people due to what they are currently doing, not because of their country or what. Because there are people from those countries who are actually skilled, and we need those skills as well.
It's true.
Because some might have a certain set of skills which us South Africans might not have, or we might have, but only a few have them. So we need others. We need other people as well. It's one world, guys. It's one planet. It's not 2 planets or 20 planets. So it's only one world.
Yeah, that's true. It's one world.
Hey, this division thing. It's good for security, but we shouldn't take it too far as to drive other people out when they're actually not doing anything wrong.
And it's a tough one.
And today's topic was actually race, but we went to xenophobic issues as well. We went to drug issues as well.
Yeah, I was just
dead course.
Puti was saying something.
Puti was speaking.
Hey, you guys, like you went far. What I was listening, now I'm learning lots of things here.
But it's the intention of this.
You're on another level.
Hey, that's the intention of these discussions, to actually share our view of things, and maybe mine might be flawed, and you guys might educate me and in what I thought I knew, but I didn't know. That's because everyone, at the end of the day, everyone thinks they know something. In this, especially in this age, everyone thinks or everyone believes they know something about something. It's an age of technology. Information is there, wrong or right or flawed or just a little bit spiked. Information is there abundantly, so everyone thinks they know something.
Yeah, like when you're talking about like information and everyone thinks they know something. Like as you know, like there are different information. Like they may talk about, let's say maybe it's a phone. Understand? Some they say this kind of phone from China, it's good. Some they are saying it's bad because they are doing what. For you to be sure that this information is a relevant information, how would you know? Like, not really on phone, but like on other things.
No, the thing is, how would you know? You might get the information from the company, or a trusted source. Not only the company, trusted source, which you are well aware that this is a trusted source. Not only to there's a lot of websites. I'm not going to cook up a website right now and write some gibberish stuff like saying the 5G makes you pregnant.
Hey, bro, that's the thing. You find that when people are arguing, I find them saying, "No, I got this information from a relevant source." Even the other one will say the same thing.
But is it relevant? The thing is, everyone that word it could be used in any manner. It could be used loosely, just to say it's a relevant source. But who is it relevant? Is it relevant? That's my question, man.
No, what Put is saying, it brings this certain idea to me that if indeed there are two phones, let's say it's Huawei and then there's Samsung. The only way to find out, or the other way, didn't necessarily say the only way, the other way to find out which one is good, since people will be agreeing, it's if you can have both. So now it's just take it, like you take them both and then you look at them and look at the specific.
No, but I understand. I understand that what he was saying. It was what theoretical in a manner that you cannot get the two phones as the same as you cannot get the actual information about what's happening in a specific country. Let's say you're trying to travel to another country, again, and when you have to, especially black people when they travel to a certain country, they have to Google how are black people treated in this country. I have a few friends who actually told me that whenever they travel they travel to a specific country, they Google or how are black people treated in this country in order to know how will they be treated, because it's a popular trend or a popular act. When people are against, are racist towards black people, because mostly a lot of countries do that, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though it might not be published that this country is treating black people this way, but in a subtle manner, a lot of countries are doing that. Yeah.
Look at how does it go? That woman Prince Harry married. You guys know her?
Meghan. Is that Meghan? Meghan who?
Yeah. You see,
Meghan.
Yeah. Even left the royal palace because of racism.
Yeah. Did you see how she was treated when she on the park?
When she was married.
Yeah, the media, how the media treated her.
Exactly.
There was a lot of focus on her.
Yeah, and like trying to just destroy her. The purpose is just to destroy.
That's what I'm saying. Even though it might not be it might not be highlighted that this country does this. It happens, guys. It happens. Even if in the
that's because
remember.
I think it's also because like the governments control what to show to us.
No,
because think about that country, North Korea. The government controls everything, like every newspaper, every media. How do I put it?
Someone was telling me that other countries are actually going through. They might be going through the West, but African countries are more transparent in a manner that a lot of countries know.
Yes,
they know only about the suffering and nothing about the good parts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey,
the way Africa is being portrayed to the world.
It's only bad things. You wouldn't hear any good thing, especially if you look at people from, let's say someone is not from Africa and they are coming into Africa, they would expect what? A rural base.
Animals on the road.
A rural country.
A rural continent.
They're expecting
people They're just expecting animals and all those stuff.
They're expecting Tawen to not have a computer, to not open Python and say, today I'll be analyzing specific set of data. No, they're not expecting that.
And I think it's mostly because I think most media in Africa is being it's owned by white people or the other.
No, it's
because
not.
They're the ones who choose what to.
No, the thing is, I guess it's not owned, but I in this day and age, people don't call it owning; they call it investing. I guess they call it investing.
But
because
they're the ones who pull major strings, They
call it, especially if you look at the mining industry, a lot of investments is from European countries, from the countries which are not even in Africa. They invest in open. They call it investing. Even if it's almost like we passed the colonization, now we are at a stage which Africa is a place of investment for natural resources. For natural resources. It's very sad to think that we Africans are not we are not investing in our own national resources, not because we don't want to, because we don't have the resources to invest. It's very sad.
No, it brings me to something.
No, you're wrong. We do have the resources. We just being led by I don't know what, but we do have the Europeans need us more than we need them. But then they put it in such a way that we need them.
By resources, I mean to the capital. I know the resources and the natural resources are down there, but the capital to actually start up a mine, we don't necessarily have them.
Yeah.
Because even if you try to get funding from the government, it's actually it's a turmoil. I don't know how you even start, because at the end you would actually require resources or funding from those European countries. So it's something else,
So this is one thing that I've been asking myself time and time again in terms of how do we solve it? Even though maybe now we're moving away from racism, from the racism
from the main topic. We're not even talking about what we're supposed to talk about.
I would always ask myself one question. In South Africa, we have students who are doing mining engineering, for example.
Exactly.
Let me just specifically speak about them. So I'll ask myself, okay, you're doing mining engineering, and then at the end of the day, you find yourself just a student, or maybe you find yourself as a worker there. So I ask myself, why can't, we have natural resources, we have almost natural resources that are needed to become in this world. Let's say we have gold.
We have platinum.
The funny part, or the helpful part, we take that gold, we take it to someone outside Africa. That person brings it back as a jewelry that we have to buy by more than what it costs, isn't it? So I ask myself, why can't the government find a way to say, okay, let's take students from this mining engineering courses. We take them outside. They look at those kind of resources that are being used to manufacture mines in our country. And then after that, it's an investment in those students. And then when they come back to South Africa or any country in Africa.
Just like Professor said, the white people have invested.
How about so in a way, you're telling me that our government has blocked that, the investment people, they've blocked our government to from taking its own people.
Yeah.
No, it's like
no.
You see, right now, we're facing a pandemic now. The government China borrowed South Africa a lot of money, type of line or route, Yeah, that's how we end up not having to, own them, say, or do them ourselves.
No,
someone's mic. I don't need to. But what I was saying is right now, I can see that these things are happening. But question is, why does it seem like it's impossible to find ourselves going and be like, okay, China was able to create 1, 2, 3, and 4 for us. How about we take our own people whom are qualified? Because I got these days we're working with qualifications. We take them there, they learn those stuff, they come back in this very own country, and then they start building. I got they get information from those people. Maybe they say, okay. Yeah, I think you get my point. Yeah,
no, you know what I understand is what
the very good question.
What who's talking? I wanted to say, you know what's happening. I understand that even if a country might have certain skills, it does it because let's say when I start a company and let's say I need a nuclear physicist, I might get someone who's from the US, but the company will actually be South African based, and I'll pay the person who's working a salary as employees pay their employees and employers pay the employees. So it's not about the skills being there or not being there. It's a global world. Skills are getting imported into other countries. Some South Africans are working for other countries because they have these certain skills. So it's not about skills. I think it's actually about the ability to get funding before being dependent on the European countries or European companies or what in United or what. Let me not say European, but companies which are from outside the specific country of South Africa.
Maybe that makes sense. I think I get it.
Because if you look at, I know, King, if you read through the papers, you will find out that someone from South Africa is doing this in a certain country, in a well-known company, working in a well-known company. You'll be like, wow, this person is good. You'll be clapping hands because that's almost like it's almost like it's the goal, guys. To work for a huge company, which is not in South Africa. It's almost like it's the goal. Like, for instance, right now, as I am studying computer science, I could say now I want to work for Apple, and Apple is not even a South African company, like, right, guy? I want to work for Microsoft, for Google, those top companies, those top tech companies. And I do have the skills, but I'm giving them to another country or another company. I think it's not about skills because skills can be imported into other countries. Someone used to say that, but at the end, I realized that it's never about skills.
Okay, now tell me, let's say you're working in Apple and then you get all the resources that can enable you to do an operating system like Apple. So my question lies in, why can't you as that person who went to Apple and have all the resources to make an operating system like Apple, come back, start your own business in your country, whether South Africa, you need to be specific.
Do you know that guy, Max? Is it Max Shuttleworth?
Yeah, I know him. The astronaut.
Yeah, he's the one who built into operating system Linux. His company did that, Ubuntu. His company is behind it, but we do not. No, did he do it in Africa? He didn't do it in South Africa, right? Like, his company is not based in South Africa. Well, one out of that, I'm even talking in Spanish because this is close to the heart. Okay, I'm bringing it back to home. So yeah, you can see that I think at the end, I don't know if I end up being successful. I don't know. Who knows? I will end up being, again, focused on myself as an individual, and I would forget totally about my country or anything. I'll be like, it's all about me making millions. I don't care about you. Get what I'm saying? I wonder, is it a human thing, or is it just something someone has initially before they even start something? That, like Elon Musk, you see Elon Musk at the moment, he's doing great.
Elon Musk.
And he's from South Africa, by the way.
He's doing great in America. SpaceX. Imagine if SpaceX was actually, but I guess the funding was necessary because the United States did invest in Tesla. I'm not sure about SpaceX, maybe, but investment from that country was there. So I'm not sure. But imagine if SpaceX was actually started in South Africa, it would be something else, But I guess the funding and the resources, those things were not possible in South Africa. That was how his way to success was paved. It was not possible in South Africa.
Yeah, I think also the word investment says a lot, because I don't think if you come to my country with your own skills and then I invest in skills and then I'll allow you to go back home that easy. I mean,
no, he's allowed. I don't think it's actually at the end. It becomes about profit because SpaceX or Tesla wouldn't be as would it be? I don't know, but it would. I don't know if it would be commercially successful in Africa. I don't know because if let's say that there's in fact I don't know, but the guy doesn't run in Africa. There's someone who's from I don't know the country, but he's from Africa. What I know, and he also has an electric car company. They make electric cars, but he's based in London. That's what I'm saying. No one does, but there's no one does. There are people who do it. As I was saying, I remembered someone, but a lot of them, whenever you want to try something, if you think it's innovative, you think South Africa or Africa is not suitable for that. Africa is not
because remember that those countries out there are more well developed, and Africa as a whole is still underdeveloped. It's being developed.
No, but I get the development part. I just don't get how the development part will affect an individual, because when you might have Brutus, you might think of an idea, a software right now. Let's for example, Uber. How are we not able to make something which surpasses Uber in Africa? I know the funding
because now for example, Elon Musk, he came up with the that car that moves itself, it drives itself.
Tesla. He invested in Tesla. He didn't come up with it. He's not the
I'm saying like that car is imagine that car on the streets of South Africa.
But initially, no, the company before it did that, his intentions were to make electric cars. The first electric car was not self-driving, so we would not say the company is based on the idea of self-driving as well, because Google is also doing that. A lot of companies are doing that, in fact.
Self-driving.
Yeah. It's just that it's just that SpaceX has more data because it has cars which are currently doing it has more data on that, and it's what could I even say? But yeah, SpaceX currently it is the leading company in self-driving cars, but it's not the core of the company. The core was electric cars. The very idea, the very, very, very fundamental idea of the company was to make electric cars which people can do, which are appealing, not to just say, I'm buying this because it's an electric car. They were doing it because I'm buying this because it's an awesome car and it's an electric car, or it's an electric car, something like that.
So yeah. Then doesn't petrol have a way to do with coal or something like that?
No, it's crude oil, I think. Crude oil.
So don't you think excuse me, sorry guys. I was gonna go completely off topic.
No, but it's cool. It's cool. No problem. Anything is, you see, already deviated from our main topic. Our main topic was racial and issues, but now we are on the companies, on tech. Just because everyone here is aware of tech, we are actually talking about tech. I'm sure the person who will be listening to me will be like, yeah, and all of a sudden we'll be losing them slowly. We are losing them slowly. I'm sure the next thing we'll talk about is the syntax in Python. Slowly we are losing people. I'm sure of that.
Okay, now I have a question. So, since we've been speaking about inferiority or superiority, do you think environment has an effect on it? Like in terms of race, does the environment have
it has a huge. And I think what I believe is the environment has a huge effect, because in South Africa, this segregation thing also, it assisted into the races in the environment which we are surrounded by. Because let's say in a township, it's 100%. I wouldn't even go and say 99% of the population is black people. It's 100%. What I know is let's go with the townships which I know, and the current one which I'm in, which I think it's practice here. The one which I'm at, 100% black people. Another one, number 2, it's a Sishiro. I'm sure most of you are well aware of it. 100%. It's 100%. So I think it's segregation which was into an act brought forward by the apartheid government, which was not even dismantled or what. Nothing. I guess something might have happened, but it was not effective. And it didn't help because the white people are still living in their designated, even I could use the word designated because that's how it seems, areas. Black people are living in designated as well. I'm using this word loosely. Yeah, so I think environment, and that also builds up a certain environment such that no one, when you're not aware of the existence or what the characteristics of white people, so you actually see it from TV and what your parents tell you, and if your parents experience racism, they will actually tell you that white people are horrible. Hey, they're horrible. Don't go out. Oh, you get what I'm saying? And whenever you see that, and whenever you see that on television, you're like, these people are horrible. You wouldn't see them in a good lighting. In a good lighting.
But what are they doing to today to show us that they want peace as much as we want?
No, but and I think as an ordinary individual, I wouldn't push. They're influential individuals. What have you done when I put us to show that you want peace? I would.
I've told them none.
You have told a few people, that's what I'm saying. Or even them, maybe they might have told a few people. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's not on our influence. It's narrow. It's not entirely it's spread upon a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we might.
Which is what I'm saying.
So we might not know if they are doing something or they are not doing something. But if only we had a way to put it into people from different races in a room and ask, and not only those. Let's say on a weekly basis, we have people who are white, who are black, who are Indian, who are Chinese, and ask them, are you actually in this the whole entire harmony thing, this utopia thing, or a world of harmony where everyone is in peace, there's no racial division? To just get the answer, if we could get that answer, I would say we would know what they're actually doing.
Okay, right now after the George Floyd incident, what is the USA government doing about it?
The USA government, I don't know. It's a confusing thing at the moment, especially with President Trump. I don't know. It's a dynamic system. You never know what happens within that system. So I don't know. I wouldn't propose any logical into conclusion and say the US government is doing this. I don't know. I never actually.
Yeah, I would Tupac want the same battle we're still fighting today.
I get it, but especially with the US currently, we don't know whether what they're doing is because of their belief. You never know with the current USA government. And it's interesting. Even whenever a government becomes interesting in such a way that every day when you watch, you're like, I wonder what happened today. It's something else, It's something else. It's like a soap or a movie. I don't know at all. And Puti has raised this hand. Puti, what are you saying, my man?
Guys, are you aware that we will keep on talking until again, like we're bringing new topic?
No, but it's a podcast, so that's the intention, to be entertaining. But we have to have a time frame as well. You are right. We have to have a time frame.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I see. I wasn't aware of time. Now I can see it.
Time is fine. Time is an aircraft. Yeah, but
no. Let's keep on talking. Maybe we can wrap up things as time goes on.
As I said, the US government, I don't know much about it right now whatsoever. It's a new concept to the world, the way it's run at the moment.
What is a new concept?
It's an invention. Donald Trump's president is an invention.
You're insulting the man.
No, I'm not insulting. This is credit at its best. They're saying his presidency, the way he's doing things is new. It's a compliment. Not everyone gets to do something new.
Hey, man.
Tawin, am I wrong, man?
No, the George Floyd thing. What the US government is doing, they're just doing things that are maybe I could say unseeable for us since we're not living in the country.
Exactly. Now
so far, what I've heard is that the police budget cuts the proposed, like since this thing happened, let's just cut the budget.
Yeah,
the other thing is that the officers
I heard that in some states, not all states, in the budget of the police of the police departments or what, it has been cut. Not in all states. Not everyone is actually with the whole thing. We should cut their budget. And other.
And then the other one, it's the officers are being charged. Monuments came down. Like. All of those things, they're changing police tactics. But then the other thing that I just wanted to put forth is that as much as George Floyd is a USA citizen, but it affected the whole world, if I could say that's possible. The whole world. You can see it in terms of influence. I remember you talking about influence, or like we are not influential enough to make people aware about racism and so on. But in terms of influence, what the world is doing, they're using social media. Moreover, people are watching soccer. And I can tell you that, before every game starts, there's a sign to show you that we're still with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, a campaign, and all those stuff.
And that thing that whenever the black people or someone who's with someone who knows or believes that Black Lives Matter, says Black Lives Matter, someone else might, I'm not going to highlight people specifically, but someone might say all lives matter. And usually, and that whole entire thing, people say, how does all life matter if Black lives does not matter? Because for all lives to matter, Black lives have to matter as well. Black Lives Matter is not some people think it's actually what it highlights, or it tries to seek and importance for a specific race only. But what they're saying is the other lives might matter, but Black lives at the moment does not matter. So let's try to make Black lives matter as well, because it has to matter. There's no way life does not have to matter. Life should matter.
And it's true. It's just as an individual, I think we should be informative and get information. So just because they're saying Black Lives Matter, and then we take it to heart. Like, since Black Lives Matter, then they mean our lives don't matter. No, it's everyone's thing. Just that at the moment we're looking at what's currently happening. Just like, for example, now we're having a pandemic named coronavirus. You can never hear swine flu saying, then I don't matter since they're speaking about COVID-19. No, that's not what's happening.
It's what happened. Yeah.
We're just focusing on what's happening now. So as people, let's just adjust to that norm to say, okay, if this thing is happening, we don't take it to heart, but we ask ourselves, for why is this happening, and how well can we solve it and adapt?
But that's true, because while solving problems, let's say right now you are solving a problem, let's say a math problem, you're actually going through a paper, you're solving a specific equation, and it's a problem, right? It gives you problems, and you're like, why? And someone says, why don't you solve question number 2? And you're like, you reply by saying, no, I should solve this one. And someone says, but all questions matter. You see, it's the same thing. You should solve problems, all of them. The one which is more crucial, you should solve it. And after that, then you can go to the other problems if you have to. Because you cannot simultaneously, we're not superhuman. As I like to highlight that we're not Superman. We cannot do everything at one time, I guess.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yeah, we have to sequentially, orderly do things in such a way that we will be able to solve that thing. Then we can proceed to the next. But if we keep fighting over, solve this one first, where will we go, man? And you can see right now, it's ideally logical, or not ideally, but it's reasonable to solve the one of Black Lives Matter, because in reality, this police brutality thing, it's taking place, and it's happening, and it's bad, guys. The video, did you see the video?
Yeah. Where's Marema?
Marema is quiet. Marema, hello, Mar. Is he still around, Mar?
Not even sure.
He's still around, I think.
Hey, Marama is a good listener. I applaud him. Usually in class, he does not pay too much attention. He'll be sleeping with that thing. He doesn't pay too much attention as much as someone.
No, I'm always listening.
But today I'm well aware of that. I was not aware. Today I'm well aware. Yeah. Where is Brutus? Brutus is he still around as well? We're just checking.
Of course.
We're checking on everyone. You never know what will happen. We are in Limpopo, guys.
Then what are you trying to say, Vialo?
So we are checking on everyone. You know, we have wireless technology, wireless physical harming technology. It harms you wirelessly. So you never know. We are checking on every individual right now. Yeah, we are not only worried by Corona is not the only thing which is happening in Limpopo. Even though we do have lockdown, I think lockdown is putting you in a proper position in which you'll be targeted easily. So we should check on everyone.
Yeah, we can wrap up now.
When I want to wrap up, we're still talking, man.
Let me listen then.
This is what I talked about him in class. He doesn't pay too much attention. He's even sad right now.
Let me listen to you guys.
No way. We also wanted to. I think Tawin had a question for you.
Okay. No, just raise my RAM.
Oh, you just missed his voice.
I missed my RAM.
Wow. But this is good. This is an ad break, when we need one.
It's a break.
Yeah, no, it's a comical break. We are just joking around. No, we're not going anywhere. You're not grabbing anything to eat. You're just grabbing into something light to digest.
But let's wrap up. I think we should come to just a conclusion. I don't know what kind.
But we talked about a lot in such a way that our conclusion, I don't know what it will be about. Will it be about the race thing, or the skills thing, or what? There's a lot of things which you talked about. So I'm not even. I almost. Yeah.
Everything.
Hey, so how will the conclusion be? World peace. That's the conclusion happening. Since you talked about everything, that's how you would conclude for an hour. Everyone must be happy. Then you live.
Okay. In conclusion,
okay.
There's no need for us to know the root of racism or something like that. To know the root of racism.
I'm getting what you're saying. Okay.
The important thing is how you raise your children, or how I'm
giving you a high five. This is a good answer.
Yeah, it's a conclusion.
He's right. Marama is right. We shouldn't focus on who brought it up, who turned on the light. If you don't want the light on, turn it off. Again,
exactly.
And we should understand that. We have religions. People have religions. Again, even white people, they have religions. Even blacks, even Indians, and all of the religions, they state that you shouldn't do it. I don't know if I haven't read the other religions' rules or what, but on my behalf, I know Christianity states that you should love one another.
Yeah.
It does not say you should love one black or one white another. I'm not even making sense, but it does not say you should love only white people or black people. So it's actually a hypocritic nature, a hypocritic act when someone is racist in a certain way. And at the end they say, when I'm following the commandments, I'm actually doing what God said, which is what Jesus wants us to do. No, they're not doing it. I think if we are not going to convince someone who's racist that they should not be racist, their religion or their things they follow should actually try to convince them in a certain manner. Should actually convince them.
Yeah.
But although not everyone is a Christian, not everyone has a religion, some people don't have religions, it's cool. As much as we do respect that, they should also respect us being black as well.
Yeah.
So we touched the conclusion Marema gave me. It was a good one. It deviated from the one he brought that, man, he should get out of our country.
At least he's a changed man.
He's a changed man. This is a good show, whatever. This is a good show. This is good. We just see the effects manifesting in just right now, man. Not in 10 years. In just a few minutes, Marema has changed.
I'm not changing my point, but I'm concluding.
But your conclusion is actually one which does not correlate with the one you gave us. The statements you gave us, they're not from the same paper. You have written on a new book. Now you are a changed man. You might not agree with being a changed man, but you are a changed man. Yes.
That's great.
Okay. Brutus has left. Brutus has left without saying bye-bye. I'm not sure if it was a data problem or it was just I'm not sure. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. This was a very, very, very informative discussion.
Indeed.
It was very informative. It was good. I enjoyed it. Hey, Tawan, is this town still around?
Yeah, he's still around. I can see where he's listening, but he has muted his mic.
Hey, okay, but hey, although we're thanking everyone, we're actually closing. We're actually stopping or what? Stopping the recording. We are done. This was good. Guys, thank you for tuning in.
Let's hope like next week we will have like more people in this show.
No, but it was also good having you guys. It was not in the less significant.
Yes, it was good. For me, I think maybe there's just so like the topic. They say, hey, this topic looks like it's going to be hard or difficult.
Exactly. I think because a lot of people gave into sudden why their excuses were sudden, like, hey, I have to drive. They actually take pictures, but hey, I actually do this. And some people didn't answer the phone. Not all of them. It was actually a few people who didn't answer. A few. But you're right. But it was good. Whatever. You guys are good.
You must send a topic at the time, like capella. Send that topic is a capella.
You know, the life gave me problems, and I looked at the problems, and they looked at me. So we took a while looking at each other. So after a while, we actually talked, and we were able to resolve our problems. So it was good. So thank you guys. Tawan, how are you, man? How do you feel about?
I think it was a good one. At the end of the day, it's about being informative and learning.
The information. Hello.
Oh yeah, I was saying in future, like we should at least get a topic faster.
Or we should find what I don't understand.
I got like Marema is saying, or they refer the topic in the
yeah, that's true. So
that the researching. I don't know if that could be helpful.
No, but
I second that one. Tawan.
But you guys, your reasoning was also insightful, because it was also personal. Brutus gave us information which is very valuable. Why would you get such information, guys? Brutus gave us information which we are not aware of, and it also we are aware, but we have never heard someone say it firsthand. So, but next time I will be.
Next time I will be a timekeeper. You can't just talk and talk. No,
but next time you'll be a timekeeper. Professional. There's no professional in problems. Problems are never professional. Whenever we have professional problems, it's not a problem.
Yes, like no, we are giving Marema that position to keep time. Like you understand?
He's trying to employ himself. He's an employee. He's an entrepreneur. This guy.
Hey, maybe it's a way. Like it's a way of as time goes on, he will have his own business. Like just employ yourself.
Yes. Now I understand. What we should do is next time we do have these talks, because the app doesn't show any time anywhere. I would actually have to use a stopwatch, and it will tell us the time, because just being free. Freedom doesn't mean we are free.
But for me, I think most of the time, even if you do stopwatch, like the topic will be interesting and will be like talking, enjoying. Even if you tell us that this time.
No, but at least we are well aware of it. Right now, not being aware of it, it basically goes everywhere at once. It goes to your grandmother, your cousin, your grandmother again, even though it saw your grandmother, and it comes back. I'm like, but you saw me. No, it's like that. But if you have time, it will go once to your grandmother, and it will come back.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, my examples are very weird. But
it seems like you wrote them down.
I didn't write them down, but they are very weird. How can I write them and know that this one will say this and I should say it right now? It means I'm a very prepared guy.
You're always prepared.
But guys, we are living, and everyone is living at the same time, and we are living right now, Tawen. Yeah, we should catch the same bus. No one should. We're using the same transport.
That's saying my bye-byes. I'm saying my bye-byes because I do something.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, we should all say our bye-byes. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, thank you for today. It was nice having a chat with you. Puti, Marema, and Brutus, wherever you are, in heaven, at hell, on earth. Bye-bye. Sure.
Sure. Bye, guys.
Bye. And guys, before we do leave, and you should say, today was a good show on the WhatsApp group, so people might want to join next time.
Yes, sure.
Hey, put those messages, man. It shouldn't only be me, because people are like, maybe I'm bored, and they wouldn't join us next time.
Yeah,
sure.
What?
Yeah, guys, it was nice talking to you. Thank you for the insightful Maremo. Thank you for the nice conclusion. Nice.
Exactly, Razi. Sure.
Sure.